Thank you. Hello everyone. My name's Brad Marsh. I'm a resident of the City of Yarra. I'm president of one of the local residents group, and I'm a member of the Yarra Residents Coalition. It's great to see a number of people from the Yarra Residents Coalition here today, and everyone else from all the other residents groups that are here today. Good on you. I'm not a politician or a planning expert. I'm not a member of a political party or a union or an industry group or anything like that. Like most of you, I'm just a person trying to live and to work and to raise a family here in Melbourne. I've lived in Melbourne all my life, and I love Melbourne. I think Melbourne is absolutely fantastic. And why not? It's high on the most livable cities lists. Yeah, well, let's be clear. It is high on livable cities lists, not because of what's happening today, but because of what happened yesterday. Right? It is livable because of the decisions and the planning and investments made by governments 20, 30, 50 and even longer years ago. And just like you, I am here today because I'm horrified by what our politicians of both flavours are allowing to happen to our city now. Our city is going to lose that livable reputation in future years because of the decisions that have been made by the people who work in that building behind you there. Why are they doing this?
Money.
I'm sure they love Melbourne just as much as I do and just as much as you do.
Not as much as money, though.
The reason they are making these poor, short-term decisions in relation to planning is because their decisions are being corrupted by the stench of money flowing from developers to their parties in the form of political donations. Did you see the news just this week? About 2 billionaire Chinese making huge donations to both parties to buy influence. They were developers. Property developers, both local and foreign, are making huge donations to both political parties directly and through their industry lobby groups like the Housing Industry Association and others. They do this not because they like democracy and want to support democracy, they want to buy influence. They do this because they want to buy an outcome. And the outcome that they want is to take you and me and our councillors out of the planning process. And whereas in our democracy we only get the chance to influence what politicians decide to do every couple of years by a vote every few years, the developers and their lobby groups put money in the pockets of politicians to buy decisions every single day. This needs to stop if we're going to have a functioning democracy and a livable city in 10 or 20 years. Now, in November late last year, Yarra residents, horrified by the rapidly increasing number of over-the-top sky is the limit developments that were applications that were landing in our council, now that they have pretty much developed every square inch of the CBD that they can get their hands on, we came together to rally for change. We were furious that these applications were stealing amenity from our community and putting it in the pockets of developers who sell tiny boxes to investors here and overseas. So we came up with a simple list of specific changes that we wanted to make to the Planning Act. Not to stop development, but to store the balance between the needs of our current and our future communities. We took the list of planning and law reforms to our council, and I've got to say our councillors were unanimous in their support from it, and it's good to see some of the Yarra councillors supporting us here today as well.
Go on, you mister!
But they can't enact it because it is state law, and only the people in the building behind you there can change it. So the only way we can get the people in that building to take any notice of us and to start making decisions for us instead of decisions for the money and the lobbyists is if we start working together. So the list that Yarra put together had a few local things on it, things that were only really important to the people of Yarra, and every single one of you will have issues that are important to your local community, and that's great and that's fine. But Mary brought all the residents group together because at our core there are some things that we all want and that we all need to focus on and we need to get these supported by our councils, and then ask each of our state local members to support them as well, and also the aspiring local members who maybe not there yet but might be in next November when we go to the polls again. And we need to let them know that this will decide how we will vote in November next year. So I think Mary has distributed those changes that we want to the various groups. I'm just going to briefly mention them here. We want to allow our councils that want to introduce reasonable maximum heights in mixed use and commercial zones, which have been developed absolutely out of control at the moment. We want to allow the councils that want to introduce protections for our wonderful heritage retail shopping strips. We want to restore the protections for residential zones that have just recently been taken away. And we want them to abandon the plans to expand the use of the Vic Smart applications, which eliminate the community from the planning and development process. But most importantly, we want them to ban political donations from the developers. I'm just looking to see where the politicians have gone. Can't find them. We have about 18 months. Oh, so, hello. 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 We have another microphone. Okay, can you hear me? I've only got a couple more things to say. All the residents groups have the detail. So Mary, you're all no residents groups. Mary's got the detail of what those simple law changes to the law are that we want. You need to get together and you need to get your councils behind you, right? Councils are great, they represent us, they represent communities. You need to get your councils behind you, and then you need to take it to your local member, and you need to get them to commit to these changes. And if they don't commit, one of the things that politicians do really well is non-answer. Just remember, a non-answer means they are not supporting you. We have 18 months. Let's work together and let's see if we can restore democracy to the political decision making and restore residents' rights.